everybody.
I woke up in beast mode.
It's Miss Peg. Just wanted to share your lesson for today, and happy Monday to you. I hope you had a healthy and safe weekend. I hope your family is doing well. Let me turn this down just a little bit for us to make sure we don't have too much disruption in the background. But I do like to have some sound in the videos. It just makes it way more exciting. Okay, so it's Beast Mode Monday, you guys. You guys are champions and you are all beasts at what you do. I'm super proud of you. Keep up the good work. Keep working. Ask questions, whatever you need. So I'm here to help you. Okay, I'm going to get right into what I have assigned on the Google Classroom today. If you are not able to access Google Classroom, that is okay. I'll always put the information here for you so you can follow along. Just check back every day or 2 or 3, see what's new. Okay, so here we go. Beast Mode Monday. I've attached your Monday motivation video below. So all of you have had me know I love to give Monday morning motivation videos. So if you scroll down on the Google Classroom, it'll be listed here, and it's about being consistent. It's really a cool video. It's only 3 minutes. So if you do have an opportunity, go check it out. It's there on YouTube. It will be posted in the link below in case you don't have option to go find it or whatever. Okay? All right. So here's your assignments. First thing is a daily journal. So we're going to complete that daily journal together, and it's written here, displayed below. But before we get to that, I know it says number 1. I do want to go ahead and share number 2. Okay, so number 2 says, watch the attached TikTok video link. And so I am officially a mom on TikTok and apparently a teacher on TikTok. And so I'm trying to find ways that we can have some fun over online learning, and I can include things that are relevant for you as well. So here is the TikTok, and what this is going to be, it's part 1 of setting up your foil poster. So this is an activity that I'd love to give you credit for, anybody who can do it. So I'm going to play the TikTok for you here. It says take a piece of foil, so just a small piece of foil, about 1/4 of the size of a regular piece of paper. Cut it into 4ths, and you're going to write F-O-I-L, 1 letter, onto each part of the foil. Then you want to go ahead and cut out those letters as best as you can. This is cross-curriculum work. This is art and math. So love doing art and math and finding ways for you to be able to really absorb information in a fun way. Okay? Then you want to take those pieces and glue them down the left-hand side of the page. All right? Won't you take me to Funky Town? All right, so you should have foil written down the side of the page. Then you want to put first, outer, inner, and last. Okay, let me pause that. So at the end, your paper should kind of look like this. So first, my handwriting is not that great. First, outer, inner, that's I, and that's N-N-E-R. I know that is terrible. And last. I don't even know if that shows backwards or not. I'll have to watch the video after. But first, outer, inner, last. Those are the 4 words that you want to spell, and we're going to use those for multiplying binomials this week. So it'd be a really fun way to learn it. That's normally how I teach it in classes. We make some really funky posters, but we are not in class. Well, we are in class. We're in our online distance class, which is just as fun if you're following along. Now, hey, if you don't have foil to work on this, or the scissors or stuff to glue, that is all right. You can take a piece of paper. You can take a receipt, anything you have. Okay, let's say I'm just going to grab a different piece of paper here. You can just write down the side of it. Just put F-O-I-L. But the goal is to have some fun with it. And so that first letter, the F, should be more fancy than when you write in first. The F is your first letter, and then I-R-S-T. You can just write those in later. And that's only part 1. And then so later we'll have a follow-up, which will be part 2 of how to go ahead and what we're going to use that information for. All right, so that's this TikTok video. That's number 2 on the Google Classroom. So number 3 is just create it. Okay, if you create it, just send me a comment, I made it, send me a picture to show me, whatever way you want to chime in to let me know you did it, that'd be fantastic. Okay, so about the daily journal, here we go. So that TikTok, that foil poster, creating something like this, I don't even know where did I just put it. Here it is. Creating something like this, that's your activity for the day. All right, that's it. So even if you just write it down on a piece of paper, you did it. Kudos. I'm super proud. It is all a part of learning, diligence, following instruction, answering questions, and persevering through problems when they arise. So that's all a part of analytical thinking in math, especially in algebra. Okay? So let's go to the actual computation math work. We have some, well, 4 questions on the daily journal today. All right, so it says solve the following and submit. So send me your answers. And remember to pay attention to the sign that's in front of each term. For an example here, we have on number 1, it says 5x to the second power, or 5x squared. There is nothing in front of it. Remember, that means it's just positive. Where I would see something negative is like this term 10 has a minus in front of it. That's negative 10 is the way that I read that. All right, so let me select my pen here, my pencil, and let's get into some of this work. Okay, so number 1, I'm going to come down here for number 1. So this says 5x squared plus 8x squared plus 7x minus 10 plus 2x plus 1. So what we're working on is combining like terms. All right, last week's journal we talked about multiplying when any of these terms that have variables, coefficients, variables, and maybe even exponents, that was a review. And now we are reviewing combining like terms. So I know something is alike. I think I can select a color, I'm not sure. Here, this 5x squared and 8x squared are alike because they both have x squared. That's what makes it alike. It has to have the same variable and the same exponent. Okay, so 5 plus 8 is 13. Keep the x squared. That's funny that I kept the yellow. All right. And now let's go to our next section. So I took care of the x squared terms. I can cancel those out and go to my next term. So because I want to write these in standard form, I always do my work starting with the highest exponent, because standard form means you're going to display your answer from the highest exponent all the way down to the lowest exponent. And then your numbers with no exponents, those are your constants. All right. So here I see I have a 7x and the only term that is combinable is the 2x because they both just have that x. So 7x plus 2x is just plus 9x. So that's done. Took care of that one. And here I have a minus 10 and a plus 1. So when I see that, that is actually adding integers, positive and negative numbers. So I'm going to subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. Keep the sign of the bigger absolute value, which was the 10. And so the 10 was a negative, so my answer is negative 9. So the way I record that constant here is just put minus 9. So my answer to the first one is 13x squared plus 9x minus 9. All right, that one is complete. I'm actually going to erase that for us. Oopsie. I'm going to erase that for us so the next one can look a little bit cleaner. Okay, so there was a small glitch that I had to go back to, so don't worry about that. So what I did find, this was very funny. I started the video and I had to go back to it. I have a typo here. So this should be a square root of 2, but it reads square root of 3. Don't worry about that. We're going to keep it as square root of 3 so we are very consistent. Okay, so on number 2, which is where we are now, we have 10x to the 4th minus, 10q to the 4th minus 7q to the 4th. Those go together. I have no other terms that are q to the 4th. So I'm just going to work with those two. So 10 minus 7 is 3, and then they keep q to the 4th on there. I like to go ahead and cross off that I did those. And now I'm going to work with all of my q to the 3rd. That way I make sure I'm keeping everything in standard form where my exponents are in descending order. So here, the sign in front of this is positive, so that's 10q to the 3rd minus 7q to the 3rd. But look, I also have a plus 7q to the 3rd over here. So if you notice that minus 7q to the 3rd plus 7q to the 3rd, those are basically inverse of each other, so they equal out to 0. I'm going to prove that for you right here. So we have 10 minus 7 would give us our same 3, but it would be 3q to the 3rd. But then if I add back, so that would take care of those two, if I add back 7q to the 3rd, that's my 3 and my 7 come back to be 10q to the 3rd, and it's positive, so I put plus 10q to the 3rd. So that was a little trick there to see which combine and do not combine. All right, I kind of put them there in out of order. So again, minus 7 plus 7 should be recognized immediately as inverse, cancels out. All right, that's why I only had left this 10q to the 3rd, or you could have done the math out. You would still arrive to the same answer. All right, so the only thing I have left on here is my 10q to the 2nd. However, remember, we're going to pay attention to the sign in front of each number. So here, this is a minus sign, which means negative. So that's minus 10q to the 2nd. I just recorded that one because there's no term for it to combine with. So it just gets recorded down below at the end. All right. Again, it goes 4, 3, and 2 as far as my exponents are concerned. So it is written in standard form. All right, our last one, number 3. Well, my last one, not your last one. Okay, so we're going to look at this one. They are not in order. So we have a 4x plus 7y to the 3rd plus 9 plus 9y to the 3rd minus 22 plus 2x. So I kind of jumbled them up instead of putting everything nearby to its partner. So let's start with the terms that have the highest exponent. All right. So the terms with the highest exponent are this 7x to the 3rd and this 9x to the 3rd. All right. So I know that it's going to be to the 3rd power. So I'm going to put y to the 3rd. And then I just have 7 plus 9 would give me 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. No shame if you're doing work on your own and you have to use fingers to count or make ticker marks on pens. Everybody is in a different place and that's okay. All right. All right. So if you're really fast at the math and you just go right ahead, know everything in your head, good job. I know it in my head. I just wanted to demonstrate for you. That's funny. Okay. So now I have my y to the 3rd, but look at this. This is so weird. I don't have any more y terms. Interesting. Just keep going on with your variable terms. So the next variable term that we have is x. So this one has 2 different variables. So I have 4x, then I come over here, plus 2x. So 4 plus 2 is 6. So I'm going to have 6, and this one has an x, not a y. So this is really good in paying attention to details and the signs. All right? Cross those off. Those are done. And it looks like, I'm going to put this one in a blue for you. I have left this plus 9 and this minus 22. That literally reads like this. 9 minus 22. So what do we do when we have to subtract something that's larger than what it already came from? So there's a rule when we're subtracting integers. Remember, that is keep, change, change. We're going to keep our first term, 9. We're going to change the subtraction to addition, and then we're going to change the 22 to its opposite. So it's the same as saying 9 plus negative 22, and then we can follow the rules for addition. Okay, so the rules for addition say to subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. In all cases, you would go backwards from 22. So go backwards 9, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Okay? So our answer comes to 13. But what kind of 13? We have to take the sign of the bigger absolute value number. So since the number 22 is bigger than the number 9 and 22 is negative, it's negative 13. So the way I record that over here is the end of my answer is just going to be minus 13. Okay? So there are your 3 answers for combining like terms. And now number 4 says, create your own similar problem that has at least 4 terms and solve it. So each one of these is a term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So example number 1 had 6 terms. You only have to have 4 terms or more. Create your own problem. Go ahead and solve it. And then send me your work. Let me know your work's been complete. Love to see what you've done. I want to give you credit for it, and just chime in, be a part of our group. All right. Again, don't forget, I want to scroll down. I'm going to get rid of this entire screen here. There we go. Yay. So this is all found in the Google Classroom, and it's found on email. Everything here that you've watched is outlined for you. So if you didn't see anything else, you still have all the information. If there's anything I can do to help you out to continue being successful during this time, anything you need access to, please feel free to reach out by email. You just have to send once, and let me have your number. If I don't have your number yet, I can call you and help you over the phone. All right, so that's that. Don't forget the FOIL project. The journal is here. We've already completed it. Happy Monday. That's it. Stay on beast mode. Do your work from your other classes if you can. Do some exercise, some jumping jacks in place. Do something creative. But most importantly, stay safe and stay healthy and be there taking care of your family and loved ones. All right? So that's it for me today, and I'll see you very soon.